pop singer Demi Lovato gives maybe, just maybe, the best pro-life argument I have ever heard. All right, which is kind of surprising because she's pro-choice. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Like she's basically just saying all of the pro-life arguments that people on the other side have been saying, that's not true, that's not true. And now Demi Lovato is like forcefully going to say all the things that we have been saying. It's actually remarkable. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to explain some things that are going to blow your mind because this is the best podcast of all time. All right. Then we're going to talk about some other things that happened this week to prove some points. We're talking about what it means to quote unquote love people. We got to show people that because the gospel, we love them. True. But a lot of people are saying it in a way that makes no sense at all. We're going to talk about it right here. If you like this episode, do me a favor. Go to Apple Podcasts or whatever it is that you rate stuff. Give us a 5-star rating. Give us a comment. Say something positive. Tell somebody about this because we're about to have a sweet episode of Cooper Stuff. Cooper Stuff! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cooper Stuff. Hope you guys are doing good. This Demi Lovato song is absolutely astounding for lots of reasons. Now, let me say this. Let me tell you what is so absolutely offensive. And I'm not even joking. I ain't playing. What I tell you what's so offensive about this is that people are calling, she has a new song, and they are calling it a rock song. I'm just saying, I'm offended. I'm appalled. It is an abomination. It's all the things. This is not rock music. And I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that have been playing rock music, even though people have said it's not popular anymore. Rock music is dead. It doesn't have the reach. People need to change, blah, 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 blah. And now a pop singer is just going to become a, quote, rock artist. I ain't standing for it. I am not standing for it. Anyway, we'll move on from that. Just because you have guitars doesn't make it rock. Now we're moving on to things that matter. I got to talk about this song. Now, you may have heard other people talk about it. I'm not just ranting. I think there are some amazing things to learn from the lyrics about this song. Before we do that, I want to read you a Bible verse that's going to be pertinent not just for this song, but for really the whole episode. Because we are living in an insane time. Now, and the reason I'm reading this verse is because one of the things I talk about on Cooper Stuff all the time, I'm constantly hearing it. You're constantly hearing it. Send me a comment. Tell me if you're constantly hearing it. John, we have to love people. We have to show the world we love them. It's going to happen because of love. Yeah, of course. The Bible says faith, hope, love, but the greatest is love. If you don't have love, you're just like a clanging cymbal, the Bible says. Yes, of course. The question comes down to what does that mean? And let me just say this. Our test of love for the world cannot be based on how the world says they want us to love them, right? Let me explain. This isn't your marriage relationship, okay? You get married and you're like, I'm loving my wife and she's all mad at me and I have no idea why. And then you find out after a few years of marriage or whatever it is in your situation, you find out, guess what? Just because you think you're loving someone well doesn't mean that they think you're loving them well because people give and receive love in different ways, all right? My wife is an introvert. She's not a talker. My wife's not going to be the one to sit down and speak. I want you to know I love you. I'm for you. You're the best you there's ever been, and I'm going to have you. I'm the wind beneath your wings. You ever know that you're my hero? Dun, 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 dun. That's not what my wife's going to do. My wife's going to be like, no. You love people by acts of service. You don't talk about loving people. You show them. You show them you love them. This isn't your marriage situation, your marriage relationship. Just because somebody says, well, I need to know that you love me. And by loving me, what I mean is that you have to say, you love everything that I do. That doesn't work. That's not what the church is supposed to be. Let me give you an example. If you have a kid, a 5-year-old kid that's like, I don't want to eat what I don't want to eat my fruits and vegetables and my this, and I don't want to eat that. All I want is nothing but donuts. And if you love me, you'll let me eat nothing but donuts all the time. And so you have a 5-year-old that ends up getting type 2 diabetes, but he's like, yeah, but my parents truly love me because they just let me do everything I want. Nothing but donuts. And then you have these people that say, if you love your kid If you truly love them, then you'll let them only eat donuts because that's how you're going to win them over. You got to be winsome. And winsome means giving them everything that they want. That is obviously ridiculous. That's the position the church is in right now. Of course, we have to love people. True love means telling your kid, no, you're not going to eat nothing but donuts. And now you say, well, yeah, but that's because it's your kid. Okay, then let's say it's not your kid. Let's say it's the next door neighbor, or it's your friend's kid, it's your nephew, it's your niece. And they have type 2 diabetes, and they're 100 pounds overweight at 5 years old. And what does true love do? I want you to know that I'm for you. And in fact, I'm going to take you to a donut parade where we just celebrate donuts and celebrate type 2 diabetes. You see what I'm trying to say? And the reason I say this is because now we have a lot of Christians celebrating pride parades. We have a lot of Christians doing a lot of insane things, even in the Christian music industry. There's another artist, some of you won't even know who this is, called Plum, who is a friend of mine, by the way, and who I have reached out to personally about some of this stuff. The reason I don't go off sometimes on CCM artists, Christian music artists, is because sometimes I have a relationship with them. And the biblical thing to do is for me to speak to them first instead of coming on and necessarily just blasting something. If I have that opportunity, a lot of these artists, I don't have their phone numbers, I don't have their whatever, and it's what it is. But if there's an artist I've spoken to, I feel a little bit more at liberty to say these kind of things. So Plum is another Christian artist who has come out this week saying, pride is awesome. I'm at the pride parades. We show people that we love them. And because, no. That's not actually what love is. That's basically saying to the kid, I love you, and I'll celebrate you eating nothing but donuts because I want to win you. That doesn't make any sense. All right, let's read a Bible verse. This is Jeremiah 6, starting with verse 10. Listen to this. This is God talking to Jerusalem, all right, through the prophet Jeremiah. And he's upset. They have not been keeping God's law. They have not been doing justice. They have been involved in all sorts of injustice and sexual immorality and immorality in general. All right, verse 10, to whom shall I speak and give warning that they may hear? Behold, their ears are uncircumcised. They cannot listen. All right, if you don't know what uncircumcised is, ask your parents. Their ears are, listen to this, to whom shall I speak and give warning? Nobody's listening. Nobody has ears to hear. Who is going to hear? Does that feel like the 2020s? Who can we possibly give a warning to? Nobody will listen. Even a lot of the times, God's people won't listen. Woo, he said it. No, he didn't. Yeah, even God's people do not have ears to hear. And that's why this is so pertinent, because this is who God's talking to. He's talking to his people. Behold, the word of the Lord is to them an object of scorn. Hello? It's not just the world right now that the word of the Lord is an object of scorn to. It is a lot of Christianity today. Do you feel me? I don't think we're being judgmental to say that. But show them that we love them. Yes, we have to show them that we love them by teaching them the commands of the Lord. Sure, we can do it in nice ways, and we can listen, and we can have dialogue. All of that is true. But it doesn't mean that we stop preaching the word of God because we do out of some, love for people. And so now we're quiet, and whatever you want, we are into because we want to win you. That doesn't make any sense. The word of the Lord has become an object of scorn for incredibly large swaths of the church. And you'll notice it because as soon as something's happening that they are giving way, they're giving ground and they're not holding the line on. And as soon as Christians say, hey, the Bible says ABC, they get like, oh, here you go with your judgmental Bible stuff. That means the word of the Lord is an object of scorn to them. Moving on. They take no pleasure in it. In what? The word of the Lord. They take no pleasure in the word of the Lord. Therefore, I am full of wrath of the Lord. I am weary of holding it in. Pour it out upon the children in the street and upon the gatherings of young men. Also, both husband and wife shall be taken, the elderly and the very aged. Okay, we're going through all these things that are going to happen. And then, listen to this, verse 13. For from the least to the greatest of them, everyone is greedy for unjust gain. And from prophet to priest, everyone deals falsely. They have healed the wound of my people lightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. Listen to this, verse 15. Were they ashamed when they committed abomination? No, they were not at all ashamed. They did not know how to blush. That is where we are in the 2020s. American culture, we don't even know how to blush. We don't even know how to be embarrassed anymore. We don't even know we should be embarrassed. This is so we're going. I'm talking about this Demi Lovato song. We're talking about the pro-life argument. Okay, this is what the song is about. It's about being pro-abortion. It's her 1 year sort of anniversary of Roe happening, and she's mad about it, and she's saying our lives are on hold, and this and this and this, and all of a sudden she's just going to make the pro-life argument for us. These are the things she is saying are things that 20 years ago, 10 years ago, the world would be embarrassed to say. They would be like, all right, we know there's a little bit of shame attached to this. You shouldn't just, absolutely come out and just say, hey, I'm really mad because I just want to just have sex with everybody in the whole world and everybody I want to have sex with. And I don't want to have to deal with anybody saying, and I don't care what you think about it. If it means in the life of a child, it means that because I need to get mine. 10 years ago, people didn't really say that. In fact, that's what pro-lifers said that abortion was all about. There was a little bit of shame attached to things. 20 years ago, there was shame attached to pornography. There's shame attached to a lot of things. And now we don't even know how to be ashamed. We don't even know how to blush. So as we jump into this, here's what I want to say. For any Christians that are like, John, we have to win people and show them we love them. How are you going to show people who have lost their minds that you love them? Yes, you should try. But here's what I'm trying to say. The standard for love, it does not rest in the one interpreting it. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is not your marriage relationship. We're not going to a psychotherapist to find out, to a marriage seminar to find out, how does she want me to love her? That's not what we're doing. There is a standard for what it means to love someone. And yes, you should. And if you're preaching at somebody without love in your heart, the Bible calls that a sin. All right? But that doesn't mean that we don't preach the word of God. It doesn't mean that we are not clear about what the Bible says. It doesn't mean we become a bunch of weenies that say, eat all the donuts that you want to. We love you with your type 2 diabetes. We love you enough to let you have type 2 diabetes. That doesn't make any sense, and that is not love. I'm going to read you these lyrics. Before I do, let me tell you about our sponsor. Let me tell you guys about my friends at SD Bullion. All right. Precious metals, gold and silver. Some people go, I don't really understand why this is a big deal. I want you to understand this. A couple of years ago, I got very concerned about the state of the world. All right. We're talking about inflation. We're talking the amount of debt the U.S. has is so absolutely insane. We're talking about the possibility of a one world technocracy, a one world currency, which is just so very, very frightening. We are printing money and spending money at a rate that we cannot keep up with, frankly. So I said, okay, what can I do to diversify my funds that I have something in my hands in case the very worst happens? And that is why you need to contact SD Bullion. All right. I'm not saying go sell everything you have and buy a whole bunch of gold. I'm saying you may want to consider putting a little bit of your money into gold and silver. SD Bullion is a Christian-owned company. They're passionate about training Christians about investment and about why gold and silver are a good investment. They have great pricing. They send straight to your house. They will send you a brochure. All you got to do is this. Text the word Cooper to 465-322. That spells gold 22. They're going to send you a brochure. They'll teach you about it, give you options. Or if you say, hey, I want to spend $75-$80. I want to get a silver coin or something like that. Text the word Cooper to 465-322. That's gold 22. They're going to give you a discount on your first order. All right. I do it. I bought all of my stuff for there, and there's just something about having it in your hand. You put it in a safe, and if the worst ever happens, you go, you know what? I know this for sure. This is a scarce resource, right? We're not printing gold. You can't make more gold, can't make more silver. There's a limited supply, which means it's going to hold its value. So if that interests you, do yourself a favor. Contact SD Bullion and say, hey, give me some information so I can understand exactly what this is. Text Cooper to 465-322. Okay, let's jump into this song. I'm going to read this. This is from Teen Vogue. First time I've ever read from Teen Vogue, and God willing, the last. Okay? Okay? The name of the article is this. Demi Lovato's latest song is a rage-filled ballad for reproductive rights. Let's see. The single dropped just 2 days before the anniversary of the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Demi Lovato surprised fans earlier this week by dropping a scathing new song that rips apart the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe. The name of the song is Swine, okay? let's see, she says, Lovato wrote in a social media post promoting the song that, quote, although the path forward will be challenging, we must continue to be united in our fight for reproductive justice. Reproductive justice is just like a nice way to say abortion. And abortion is a nice way to say kill babies, all right? I created Swine to amplify the voices of those who advocate for choice and bodily autonomy. I want this song to empower not only the birthing people of this country, this is right, there's some birthing people out there. We used to call them mothers. Now you're a birthing people. But everyone who stands up for equality, to embrace their agency and fight for a world where every person's right to make decisions about their own body is honored. All right, and so they go on to say some of the lyrics, blah, 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 and this and the other. And they don't cover the most offensive part of the lyrics, which I think is funny. So I'm going to read you the lyrics. Now, I've been praying, Lord, do I read the lyrics? Do I get away? You can't read all the lyrics, and so do I get away from some of the things? So, warning, I'm not going to cuss, but there is a word that is offensive. I'm going to say it. So if you have kids, you want to mute for 1 second. I'm not going to take long. Here we go. Verse 1. God forbid I want to suck whatever the F I want to. God forbid I want to F whoever the F I want. And if he, I'm not going to say this word, but it's a word for ejaculation, all right? And if he ejaculates, I guess I got to be a mother. F what I think. I don't know a thing. The government knows my body. No, it's okay. It's better this way. I'm only a carbon copy. If I'm dying, they'll still try to stop me. And then the chorus says, my life, my voice, my rights, my choice, it's mine. Or I'm just swine, my blood, my loins, my lungs, my noise. It's mine, or I'm just swine. Verse 2. Picture your faith. Imagine your God and even your Holy Bible is suddenly banned. Do you understand? Now, doesn't that sound entitled? It's your book, but it's my survival. We got to grow them. Listen, this is insane. We got to grow them. We got to raise them. We got to feed and bathe them. And if you won't, they call you a witch to burn at the stake in Salem. Thought by now they changed, but we're still waiting. Give these mother effers hell. Okay. Sorry. So parents, I'm not going to say any other words. Okay. So God forbid I want to blank whatever the F I want. All right. So here's what we're dealing with. Let me give you, somebody's going to say I'm being hyperbolic, but let's just say this is the pro-life argument. For 30 years, I don't know how long, since I've been aware of the pro-life argument, it has basically been that this is not about helping women. This is not about economics. This is not about the things that the pro-abortion industry claims it's about. This is about the sexual revolution. This is just about you wanting to do whatever you want to do. In the 90s, I think it was Bill Clinton that said that abortion, we should keep it safe, legal, and rare. That was always the mantra. Safe, legal, and rare. So he was pro-choice, but let's just admit that this isn't like a wonderful thing. In other words, even in the 90s, a lot of people still knew how to blush. We don't think it's like a great thing to talk, like, all right, we are kind of ending someone's life, but let's keep it rare, okay? We're not trying to say, we don't want to make your life terrible, but let's keep it rare. But we should be a little bit embarrassed that we are ending someone's life because, I don't know, murder's not a great thing, right? That was the idea. In the 90s, some people still remembered how to blush. Now we got Demi Lovato saying basically, no. God forbid I want to, and again, that's a word for oral sex. God forbid I want to do this to whoever I want to. All right, first of all, sex education with Cooper stuff, you can't get pregnant from that. So what does this have to do with abortion? She's making the argument. She's making our argument. This is just about the sexual revolution. This is nothing left than full, like, I got no chains. I am fully liberated to do anything sexually in the entire world I want to. And who cares? Who cares what happens? This is all about me getting mine. She's just making the argument for us. And then makes an incredible argument promoting the family. I mean, I think it's This blows me away. And if he, again, this is a word for ejaculates, and if he ejaculates, I guess I got to be a mother. Well, yeah, that's true. That is the way that it works. And like all mammals, that's part of what it is. So all of a sudden she's making the argument, and if he ejaculates, I guess I got to be a mother. And then later she goes on, as you know, to say, we got to grow them, we got to raise them, we got to feed and bathe them. That's why you need a husband. Like, you're supposed to do this together. That's why God's design works. There's a mother and a dad, you see, and they come together and they start this thing called the family that the progressive left has been trying to destroy now. I don't even know how long it's been. I mean, it's certainly ever since Marx. So what is that? 1850? So whatever that is, progressively trying to destroy the family as a bad thing. The progressive left is constantly promoting single motherhood as an amazing thing, or, quote, as BLM said it, quote, villages of moms, that's a really great way. But now you got Demi Lovato saying, yeah, so I got to grow, I got to do all this stuff just because he ejaculated in me. Well, yeah, this is the promotion of the family. And guess what? It is a way that we could save our country. This is a way to save the country. This is a way actually to ensure that your children have a much, much, much better chance of thriving in society. Everybody knows that. All the statistics show it. Two-parent families, so a parent with a dad, are far better off than families without a dad. That's just the way that it works. That's just the way that it is. If you don't have a dad, you're far more likely to go and to be in juvenile delinquency. You're far more likely to not graduate high school. You're far more likely to consume alcohol and drugs, to get pregnant, to have an abortion, the whole thing. Everybody knows this. So now she's just making our argument for us. Now, this is an amazing thing because she rightly is tying what she calls bodily autonomy, which she's talking about the overturn of Roe. She rightly recognizes what we've been saying all this year. This is just about the sexual revolution. So now what you're saying is, it's not just that I can't have that abortion because my life is going to be at risk, which is always what they say. Oh, you want to kill moms. Okay, pro-lifers, you just don't care about the life of women, and you don't care the fact they may die in ectopic. I can never say that word. You get it. Ectopic. Ectopic. Can't say it. Don't even care. I know it makes me sound dumb, and I got zero poops for it. I don't care. You don't care about women. They're going to die. Now what she's saying is, no, I'm mad about it because I just want to bang whoever I want. I want to have sex with everybody without any consequences. I got to give Allie Beth Stuckey a little credit for this. Allie Beth Stuckey's like, it's like saying, I don't ever want to pee or poop ever again. She's like, okay, so stop drinking water or eating anything. Stop drinking anything and stop eating anything. And eventually, you know that you'll stop pooping. I mean, you'll die, but you'll stop pooping eventually, maybe. If you don't want to pee, don't drink anything anymore ever again. It's sort of like, this is what it means to be human. And that is the Cooper stuff point. This is one of the most anti-human songs I've ever heard. I'm taking off my Christian hat. So for all the people that say he's a Christian nationalist, he's a religious fundamentalist zealot, besides the tattoos and the sweet, beautiful beard. Okay, the beard was beautiful. You've never seen a beard like it. All right, listen. I'm taking my Christian hat off for a second, which is difficult, by the way. This is the most anti-human song I've ever heard. This is someone that is angry to be human. That's it. Because there is a process. Again, all right, let's just pretend that I believe in evolution. Let's just about biological evolutionary science, all right? Which I don't. But let's just say that I do. And I'm I'm an atheist. I believe that we're just here by chance. All this stuff had been to work out. I believe in biological evolution. And here we are. Boom. Why does sex exist? For procreation. That's the reason it's here. Now, somebody's going to say, oh, God created sex also for between a man and a wife and for pleasure and for covenant. And that's true. But now you're making a biblical argument. You got to remember, I'm not making a biblical argument. I'm taking the Bible out of my brain for a minute if I can. Sex exists then from this evolutionary argument for the survival of the species. That's why it's here. And so now you have someone that I'm assuming, I don't know if she's an atheist or not. She certainly does not sound like she believes in any of the three major religions in the world. That I assume is an atheist or something like, I have no idea what she is, doesn't matter. You have somebody saying, actually, I'm mad that this is the way that the reproduction process goes, because there's this thing that I want to do, that I like, and that feels good to me, and I want to do it, but I'm mad at the consequences that evolution has provided for me. This is anti-human. This is it. A full-on anti-human argument. Well, if he ejaculates, then I guess I got to be a mother, and I got to raise him, I got to feed him, and I got to... That's actually correct. That is a biological imperative. If you're I'm taking my Christian hats off, evolution hat on. Yeah, it's a biological. This is what mammals do. This is what animal species do. You procreate. You take care of the child, because it's kind of honestly, it's kind of psycho. Don't you think it's a little bit like mental? How is it that we get that? Well, we've forgotten how to blush. I mean, this should be an embarrassing argument to the pro-abortion crowd, but it's not. It's getting praise. It's pro-woman. It's pro-positive sex. It's, quote, joy. It's sexual revolution joy, because people are embracing my womanhood. I should be able to go, all these whole things. Of course, yeah, I'm really, really mad that the way womanhood works, I got to grow this thing. Now let's put my Christian hat back on. This isn't just anti-human. It's I want to say anti-Christ. It is anti-Christ. But if I say that, some people will think that I'm just being hyperbolic. So let me say it another way. This is anti the creator. It's anti-creation. Do you know what I mean? It is anti-Christ. It is. That's not actually hyperbolic. It's true. It is anti-creator. This is being mad at a God who created the reproduction process in a way, and this is what's so mind-boggling. This is what it means when your ears are still circumcised and you can't hear nothing. This is how people have flipped the goodness of God, and they flipped it and said, no, all those things that you say are good, those are horrible, and they are keeping me in chains, because we have a God that is so good. About to go. I can feel it. We have a God that is so good that he says, you know what? I'm not just going to make the procreation process a miracle, which it is. To all the Darwin people out there, like, no, it's nothing more. But are you serious? You think this just happened? The amount of things that have to work right in order to get pregnant, to carry the baby to term, to actually have the baby, the thing a mother's body goes through are absolutely miraculous. We can think it's just nothing more than like, oh no, it's just a car engine. You put all the pieces together and that's the way it works. No, it is a miracle. Every single life that is conceived is a miracle that is conceived through the power of the Word of God, through Christ. Every single time. It doesn't just like happen. Sort of like, well, the car engine works, and as long as you turn the ignition, it's going to pop on, it's going to work. That's not, no. God creates life individually, uniquely, every single time. Woo! All right, so we have a God that says, you know what, not only am I going to make the reproduction process a miracle, I am going to do something amazing. I am going to create this thing called pleasure. And yes, kids, we're talking about sexual pleasure, meant to be enjoyed between one man and one woman in a covenant relationship for life. I'm going to create pleasure. The devil doesn't create pleasure. Don't be silly. The devil's not like, I'm going to make sex really, really awesome so people want to go crazy. No. God created pleasure. Now, this is good stuff because he is a good God. Pleasure, sexual pleasure is to be enjoyed between a man and a woman in a covenant relationship for life. And every time that man and woman come together in sexual union, it is a celebration of covenant. It's what it is. It's a celebration of covenant. And it is a wonderful thing, not created by the devil, all right? It is distorted, not just by the devil, but by our own flesh. It's distorted by us. God is the one that created pleasure. And so what Demi Lovato is doing is saying, I'm mad at you for the miracle that you created. I want the pleasure, but not the miracle part. By the way, the pleasure is also a miracle, but I don't want the miracle part. That's really bad. So in fact, you are a mean God. You are bad. What you have done is really terrible because I deserve mine, my, how many times did you say my in the chorus? My life, my voice, my rights, my choice. It's mine. My blood, my lungs, it's mine. 8 times me and my is said in the chorus. Me. It's like, what was that Pixar film? Me with the birds. I think it's Finding Nemo. Watched it too much as a kid. All right. Anyway, not as a kid, as my kids were kids, excuse me. Me, mine. It's all about me. It's about me. I want mine. I want my sexual pleasure in the way that I want it, divorced from you and your miraculous plan. What else is it doing? This is anti-woman. This is the most amazing thing about how insane the world is. It's not just that they don't know how to blush. They've lost their minds. They think this is pro-woman. This is anti-woman because God created this amazing. How do you exaggerate this? I don't even know the words besides amazing. God created this amazing miracle. What a privilege for women to be child bearers. It's unbelievable. God gives women a gift that a man can never, ever have. It's so absolutely, it's miraculous. It's miraculous. I give you a gift to do this thing that a man can never do. And in fact, it's going to be a woman of course, Mary, the mother of God, a woman who bears the Son of God. This is the way it's supposed to work, and it's beautiful, and it's a privilege. And the Bible says women are going to be saved through childbirth, which I don't fully understand. Go listen to somebody a lot smarter than me to find out what that means. It's an amazing privilege. It's a miracle. It's beautiful, and it's something you do within a family. And God is letting us be a little bit, wait for it, God is making us to be a little bit like God because we are creating. You see what I'm saying? Like he's giving us a gift to do something sort of like what he does. Hello. Can you think of any more privilege than for the creation, that's me and you, to be given a gift to do something that the creator does? And Demi Lovato is like, I'm mad about it. I want to get in mine without all this stuff. Oh, he ejaculates and now I got to raise it. And this is absolutely amazing stuff. But she rightly recognized the sexual revolution and the total breaking free of all sexual restraints really is what the abortion argument's about. This song is not about, we don't have money to have kids and systemic problems and systemic poverty or because of systemic racism and because of injustice. They're forcing it. It's not about that. This is about, I want to get mine, and anything that comes in between that is evil, and I'm mad about it, and I'm raging, and I'm going to pretend that I'm a rock singer now to do it. And other people will be like, it really is rock. And then John's going to be like, no, it's not. Well, let's move on to a couple of other things that happen, because we were also told the same thing that about the entire sexual revolution. We have so many Christians promoting. Now, it's remarkable, pride parades and all sorts of, lots of Christian artists beginning to quietly do these. Some Christian artists beginning to be a little bit more vocal, as I said earlier about Plum. Well, no, I do support this because it's love. This is and blah, 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 blah. And it's not about all these other things. All they're doing is parroting the atheist left. It's remarkable. And all they're doing is parroting the sexual revolution. So here we are with these pride parades. Now we've been told all this is about is love. And no, it's not. We have an entire month where we're forced to celebrate people's sexual lifestyles. This is really bizarre. It's a really twisted, bizarre, it's really, really weird. If we had an entire month where all we did was celebrate heterosexual sex, I would be like, that's pretty weird. That's like, what? That's kind of let's have a parade. It's all about heterosexual sex where people just do all sorts of, they dress in kink and they walk down the street in sexual bondage gear. And one of them walks like a dog while the other one's whipping them in their, I can't even say the words to some of these things. The things that they are wearing that are like weird, okay? This has nothing to do with hating certain kinds of people. It's nothing to do with judging certain kinds of people. It's about something to do with this entire thing is a celebration of sex. And I don't care what sort of celebration you are talking about, heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, whatever it is, we don't need to be celebrating this. Furthermore, the idea that if you believe that certain kinds of sex are better than other kinds of sex, that are more righteous than other kinds of sex, or that lead to producing and flourishing societies and things like that, or are not offensive to God, and whereas other ones are, that's got nothing to do with hate. This is saying, what kind of society do we want? Do we want a society where for a full month out of the year, people are going to celebrate kink in the middle of the streets while Christian artists are going, woo, we have to love people. It's love. Let's celebrate type 2 diabetes. Give them the donuts. Woo, I love your kink. That's good kink. This is sick. All right. So here we go. Then reporting from Daily Wire, naked men in front of children at the Pride parades in U.S. and Canada. I'm not going to show the video, even though there are some now that are blurred out. But basically what you're dealing with, LGBT Pride festivals in the U.S. and Canada over the weekend featured rampant nudity, including a Pride parade in Seattle in which men on bikes rode naked in front of children. I'm not saying you should go watch the video. It's available. You watch the video and you have families there, which who these parents are, I know they think they're loving. I'm just telling you, if you're a kid that is bringing, a parent who's bringing your kid to these events, you are like the parent that is celebrating your kids eat nothing but donuts and have type 2 diabetes, and your thing is a wonderful thing. Have you forgotten how to blush? This is amazing stuff. You remember what it's like to be ashamed? Like that part of you is dead. So you have parents with their kids there. Woo! Pride parade. Oh, naked men and bikes. You know what I call this? I call this, in my upcoming book, I call it pervert privilege. Because if you had your kids there and men just walked out naked, everybody's parents would freak out. But if you do it for pride, it's different. That's different because that needs to be celebrated. Do you see what I'm trying to say? If it's for a pride event, well, that's different because these are victims in society and we can't make them feel bad about who you are. So we have to celebrate as they're coming by naked. And now it's not inappropriate for children. Now it's not sexualizing the children. Now this is justice. All right, so I'm going to show you a video. Look at this video for what happened in NYC, and then I'm going to read it to you. This is a Pride Parade NYC where people are saying the quiet part out loud. Let's watch this video. So here we are. Remember, there's been a whole lot of people saying the left and the progressive left and these pride events and the LGBTQ authoritarian tyranny that we are under right now. Again, this is not about hating anybody. This is about an authoritarian tyranny being pushed down on us to reshape all of our culture and force us to celebrate things that we do not want to celebrate. And we've been saying they're sexualizing our children. They're coming after our children. And the progressive left keeps saying, no, they're not. Why are you such a right-wing extremist? We have to love people. You're being a clanging cymbal by saying all these things. Well, what are they saying in the parade? We're here. We're queer. We're coming for your children. What? Sorry, say that in my good ear again. Hello. They're actually just saying it out loud. They're doing what Demi Lovato just did for abortion. Like, Like, you're making our argument, right? Did you hear that? Well, you got to hear this, and it's the last article I'm going to read. This is also going to be in the Daily Wire. But this is interesting propaganda. NBC roasted over article explaining away why "We're coming for your children" chant wasn't bad. Now, this is absolutely amazing thing. So remember, you got to remember, I see it every single week on social media. Somebody like me or Ali Stuckey or everybody, you name them, Dr. Michael Brown, James White, everybody, all right? Even just political people on the right that aren't even Christians necessarily or Christian commentators. They'll come out and they'll say, they're coming for your children. This is something really bad going on. And the left will come out and say, no, they're not. You're being an extremist. Even the Christian left, even the Christian left, just like they always come out about the abortion thing, just like the Christian left always says, no. All that this is about is that people have abortions because they don't have money. It's about. I want to tell the people on the Christian left, listen to the Demi Lovato song. She's making a better argument than you. She's being honest. Will you listen to her? Just like that, I want to tell the Christian left that is saying, no, they're not coming for the children. I want you to say, listen to the video. So first we have, no, they're not saying we're coming for children. No, they're not. No, you're being extremists. And now we have the NBC article saying, actually, they've been saying this for 10 years. Why are you making such a big deal about it now? So now what they're saying is almost like, you're all freaking out. You have no reason to freak out. They've been doing this for 10 years. Well, this is why people have lost their minds. That's not an argument. We're making an argument. They're coming for our kids. And your argument is like, no, they're not. They've been saying that chant for 10 years. They've been coming for your kids for a really long time. Therefore, they're not coming for your kids. NBC News was roasted after it published an article that seemingly attempted to explain away a chant at New York City. We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children. The article cited longtime march attendees and gay rights activists who claimed the chant had been used at pride events for several years. According to organizers interviewed by NBC, the chant was meant to be lighthearted and to poke fun at anti-LGBTQ sentiment. So you think that's what they're doing? Let me give you an example. Sometimes people say they will claim that people, even like me, are quote unquote Christian nationalists. We're trying to create a theocracy, a country that serves Christ, and anybody that doesn't serve Christ, we're going to put them to death. That's what they claim we're doing. A theocracy that if you don't, go to church on Sunday, that you're going to be imprisoned and yada, yada, yada. That is obviously absurd. I don't know a single Christian that believes that, but that is what they always say. So let's say that we wanted to have a movement, right? A pro-Christian political rally. Do you think that our chant would be, we're here, whatever, we're Christians, we're going to put you in jail if you don't bow down to Christ? Do you think we would make a chant like that? Do we ever do it? And then if somebody said, sounds like you want to put us in prison. No, we're not. We've been chanting that for 10 years. As if that's an argument. And then they push and say, no, we're poking fun at you guys that you think we want to put you in prison, but we're poking fun. So we're saying that we want to put you in prison at all of our rallies. Hello? What you're dealing with is a culture that has lost their minds. I'm sorry. I'm not. And here's the thing. I do love them. Loving someone, by the way, is a heart issue. So whenever somebody comes out and like, you're not loving people, you know what? It's a heart issue. The Lord knows if you love them or not. Hello. Yes, you should love them, and that should be your motive. Are there nicer ways for us to say what we want to say? Yes. Am I guilty sometimes of not being the most, coming across the most loving and approachable way? Sure, I can do better. There's no question about that. But 95% of the criticism of people like me and people like you, when they say, you're not being loving, 95% of the criticism, I have zero poop. Corey, how many poops was that? Zero. That's right. Zero poops to give, because all that they mean is this. Those people don't feel like you love them, so you're not loving them. That's what they mean. And how can you make people feel like you love them when they say, Mom, if you love me, you'd let me eat all the donuts. Nothing but donuts for the rest of my life. How are you going to make that child feel that you love him? No, I do love you, but I'm not going to. Basically what the child is saying is the only thing that's going to make me believe that you love me is letting me have what I want. And if you don't, then you're against me, and you're an oppressor, and you're a hateful person, and you're judgmental, and you want to ruin my life. That's the moment we're in, you guys. So all this, the abortion stuff, the pride stuff, all this is about sexual revolution. Do not be deceived, because the Christian left, I don't know if they're deceived. I don't know if they're in on it. Maybe they know what they're doing, and maybe I have no idea. It's probably a case-by-case basis. And do I want to win them? Yes, I really do want to win them over. But all they are doing is making the same argument as the progressive left. They are trying to tear down the entire fabric of this country to normalize things that even 10 years ago, people were like, all right, we're not saying that's good. We're not saying it's good for naked men to hang out in front of children. We're not saying it's good to, quote unquote, come after your children, to queer them. We're not saying it's good to march on all fours as a dog in sexual bondage gear as someone whips you in the keister. We're not saying that's good. We're just saying as libertarians, that should sort of be allowed maybe. Now, we don't even know how to be embarrassed. We don't know how to be embarrassed because we don't think there's anything embarrassing, because the progressive left has become not just anti-Christ, it's become anti-human. And I think the Demi Lovato song shows it absolutely brilliantly. The next time one of your Christian friends makes one of those Christian left arguments, no, but the real reason we have to love people, the real reason people have abortions is only because they don't blah, blah. I want you to make them listen to this Demi Lovato song and then say, how come Demi Lovato gets it more than you do and you claim to be a Christian? Hello, have a great week.
Read the Bible.
Kill myself. I'm in the game.